Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Simpsons Episode Reviews. Today, I'm reviewing Bart's New Friend. However, I'm reviewing this on Sunday rather than on Tuesday or Wednesday. It was just because I was busy those particular days. The good news is, however, I don't have to review another new episode of The Simpsons until next week. Because this week is basically an off week for me. So I can basically do this review any day that I want to. However, I'm doing it today. So I'm going to get on with it now. The plot of Bart's New Friend is basically this. It's all about Homer being hypnotized by a hypnotist at a circus. And the hypnotist actually makes Homer think that he's a 10-year-old. And before the hypnotist could bring Homer back to his former self, the cops actually tried to arrest the hypnotist. And he escapes. So Homer is stuck basically acting like a 10-year-old. And how does it go? You're going to find out. Now, for people that have not seen the episode yet, go to the spot right now, unless, of course, you want to be spoiled. However, if you want to watch the episode for yourself and do a video about the particular episode that I'm reviewing, go to this spot right now, so that way you won't be spoiled. Now I'm going to talk about the full story. Now the full episode was all about Homer Simpson and his workers celebrating the retirement of the safety inspector for Sector 7G. And it turns out that the safety inspector actually helped out Homer Simpson at times. But because of the safety inspector's retirement, Homer Simpson had to work harder. And he really works harder to the point that he's not clearly happy and he wants to focus on his job. So he is brought to a circus. And he eventually ends up at this tent where this hypnotist is. And the hypnotist hypnotizes him. And as a result, Homer Simpson has the mind of a 10-year-old boy. Now, before the hypnotist actually brings Homer Simpson back to normal, the cops try to arrest the hypnotist. And the hypnotist escapes. And as a result of the hypnotist not being in that tent, Homer Simpson has the mind of a 10-year-old boy and is basically stuck. He's basically stuck having the mind of a 10-year-old boy. However, Bart adapts to his father acting like a 10-year-old boy. And Homer and Bart actually get along pretty well, with Homer acting like a 10-year-old boy, of course. And they basically have fun with each other. And surprisingly enough, Homer actually has fun with Lisa too in this one particular part of the episode. Now, this doesn't make Marge Simpson happy. No. As a result of Homer acting like a 10-year-old boy and not being like he was back when he acted like 30-some-odd years old, this puts a strain on Marge. And as a result, Marge tries to find the hypnotist along with the cops. And they do find the hypnotist. And they tried to get the hypnotist to bring Homer Simpson back to normal. Now, Bart actually tries to hide Homer Simpson somewhere in, I remember it was Itchy and Scratchy Land. And Marge actually finds Homer there, even though Bart was trying to hide Homer Simpson. And Bart had to realize that Homer Simpson shouldn't have the mind of a 10-year-old boy anymore. and he should be like his normal self, and nothing lasts forever. So what does Homer say? Homer says to Bart, always be a 10-year-old. Always. Stay that way, even if you grow up. That's what basically Homer Simpson said, while still having the mind of a 10-year-old boy. The hypnotist actually brings Homer Simpson back to normal. The good news is, however, even though Homer Simpson is back to his normal self and Bart is stuck not having somebody to play with, Homer Simpson still adapts to Bart at the very end of the episode. Now, it's not the full end of the episode, because there is one part where they go back from commercial, and the hypnotist is at this one particular cell with Chief Wiggum in it. Now, this particular part is a reference to the first X-Men movie at the very end of that particular movie, where Magneto is in this prison with, I'm trying to get this right, Professor X. And there's this one particular scene where they're playing chess. And it references it. It definitely does. And I did like that scene, but there was one part that I didn't like. But I will explain that once I talk about it in my full review. But that's basically it for the episode. And no more spoilers. So, now on with my review. Now, the story was written by Judd Apatow, and you probably know him because he was the writer for movies such as Bridesmaids and Knocked Up and The 40-Year-Old Virgin, just to name a few. Now, he actually wrote this episode 20 some odd years ago, and I'm glad it finally got turned into an episode, because the story for this particular episode is one of the best written stories for this particular season. I like the bondage with Homer and Bart, and Homer and Lisa, and I liked some of the scenes with Principal Skinner and Superintendent Chalmers. And I also liked most of the characters in this particular episode too, but I'm going to talk about that when it comes to humor, because there is one particular character that I didn't like that they put on this particular episode, and it's only flaw. That's the only flaw with this particular episode, and it involves the end. And I'll talk about that when I talk about humor, because I'm going to talk about humor right now. Because most of the humor in this episode was actually fantastic. I really enjoyed the humor, and I was laughing at a couple of the jokes in this particular episode. They didn't feel rushed either. And the only joke that I didn't like involved the ending with this one character that is called Loki. I wish that the character Loki wouldn't have been in the episode at all. If that particular character wouldn't have been in that episode, then surprisingly enough, the humor would have been a step up, I should say. But the humor is still fantastic, even though there wasn't too much in terms of humor. But it wasn't about the humor for this particular episode. The backbone of this particular episode was the story. And it was the story is what made this particular episode fantastic. It was fantastic from top to bottom, thanks to the story. Because the story didn't feel rushed at all. It felt smooth, and there was hardly any slow points, and I felt that the episode fit with the story. And I definitely like the characters as well. I like the hypnotist character, and of course the hypnotist character's name was Seven Golly. And there was also a character called Don Bruckner, and he was the character that actually retired. And Don Bruckner was actually played by Stacy Keach. And Stacy Keach actually was an actor, and I know some of his work. He was in the movie Up in Smoke and Nice Dreams, and I'm talking about the few Cheech and Chong movies that he was in, because I know for a fact that he was in those too. I don't know the rest of his work though. But the characters were awesome from top to bottom except for Loki. The story was fantastic from top to bottom. It didn't feel rushed. It felt right. And it was smooth. It was really, really smooth. And it flowed. It flowed fantastically. And the humor was great too. And for the first time ever, I'm giving a different star rating to an episode, because this episode is getting my first 4-star rating. That is right. Bart's New Friend gets a 4-star rating. I highly recommend that you check this episode out. It was fantastic from top to bottom. The episode flowed like it should have, for sure. And the only flaw that I really saw that doesn't give this quite a 5-star rating, because the 5-star rating would mean that it would be a, or should I say, in people's minds, a Simpsons classic. Because I don't feel that it's not a 5-star rated episode, because they're the 5-star rated episodes, I don't think are ever going to come again, because the thing about it, I know for a fact that the Simpsons are not going to produce like 5-star rated episodes like they used to do. But this is pretty close, I should say. And I have given 5-star. I have seen episodes that were in the later seasons that I felt were Simpsons classics. Even though this doesn't get a 5-star rating, I still highly recommend this. So, and that's basically my review of Bart's New Friend. Now, Bart's New Friend is available on Hulu Plus. It'll be available tomorrow on Hulu. So if you don't have Hulu Plus and have Hulu, you can watch it on Hulu tomorrow. Or you can watch it on Fox.com, or through the Fox Now app, or you can watch it on the Simpsons World app or at simpsonsworld.com. And you can watch the episode on your tablet or on your computer or on your mobile phone. Well, that's basically it. Next time on the Simpsons Episode Reviews, and it's going to be the last review I'm doing for this month, I am reviewing The Musk Who Fell to Earth. And I will be doing that review next week. So I will catch you next time. Peace out. Thanks for watching, everybody. And I hope you enjoy your week. Peace out, everybody. Thank you very much for watching this video. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. And if you have not seen any of these videos that are on the screen, you can click on one of them. Thank you very much.